You made that endorsement in 2020. Are you happy with the state of America?
Am I happy with the state of America right now? Well, that answer is no. Do I believe we're going to get better? I believe in that. I'm an optimistic guy, and I believe we can get better. The endorsement that I made years ago with Biden was one I thought was the best decision for me at that time. And I thought back then, when we talk about, hey, I'm in this position where I have some influence, and it's my job then. I felt like that then. It's my job now to exercise my influence and share with this is who I'm going to endorse. Am I going to do that again this year? That answer is no.
Democrats are in some major trouble. Major trouble. I mean, you're seeing videos like that pop up all over the place of people who previously supported Biden and Democrats, but now are like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. There's no way that I will support that guy. Including Michael Rappaport, who we've covered before in the past. And, he's famously said some crazy things, right? We're going to be diving into that a little bit because he came out in a new interview and said some interesting things. But let's take a little trip down memory lane because Michael Rappaport has slowly been shifting over to the right. And I think that is the sentiment of the country at large. The country is moving to the right. So Joe Biden has succeeded at one thing. He has done a great job at one thing. And that is uniting this country against him and Democrats. Like, share, comment, and hit that subscribe button if you are new. And let's take a trip down memory lane too.
So if you believe in the Obama doctrine, all right, be nice to each other, whatever, there's no way you were voting for Trump. It just wasn't in the cards. It wasn't happening. It was abrasive. He was racist. The media, yada, yada, yada.
And he was a joke. Like, as New Yorkers, like, he was like,
yeah,
he's
a ball busting troll.
Exactly.
He's a
but
shit
here's
ball.
why I think you're going to vote for him this time, because you've seen what happened under his first term. You didn't like it. He's the pig dick, and he's got the mean tweets, and he's orange. But life was good. There was no wars. The economy was going good. But damn, he's annoying to look at. But you also can acknowledge that the media had a major role in that.
Major role in that. When you take a step back.
Yes. You also acknowledge that.
Because I will acknowledge that, that one thing about the Charlottesville that I ranted about.
Yes.
And I was wrong.
About the both sides thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and I respect
so irresponsible.
And I respect the shit out of it.
Wait, let me hear him out. Hang on. Yeah. Go a little bit more. What do you mean by that? You were wrong on that.
No, because he said the both sides, there's good people on both sides. And when you see the full quote, that wasn't what he said. And
and that's also the great thing about the media, mainstream media, being so biased against Trump. They're so biased against Trump that as soon as someone actually looks up, any of Trump's full quotes, like, it's completely obvious that they blatantly lied. It's not like they misinterpreted it, or they left out a word here or there. Like, it's blatant. Like, they lied, right? It's so obvious. And that's why I've been saying, with a lot of this stuff, I'm like, man, part of me is actually happy that this is happening, because it's proving that we were right the entire time. They called us conspiracy theorists and crazy folks and, white right-wing extremists, MAGA extremists, when we were telling the truth the entire time. It was them that were lying about it all. They were lying. They were trying to convince people that, Trump's only said there was good people on both sides, and, or that Trump said, go break into the Capitol. They were trying to convince people of that. We were trying to tell folks that's not what he said. That's not what he said. And notice how whenever they say these things, they never play the clip of what Trump actually said. They just tell us what he said. They never play the full clip of what he said, So that's also an interesting point too. But let's get into this recent interview from Visegrad 24. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. The name will be at the top of the screen if you want to go watch the full interview for yourself. But let's jump into it. Check it out.
Like, it's not acceptable. Well, this, that, and the third, it's not acceptable. Have your political views shifted? You've been a very vocal anti-Trump.
Yes.
And probably the most vocal anti-Trump celebrity out there.
Yes.
Have your views shifted? I mean, a lot of
Yes.
Israelis are very supportive of
Yes.
Donald Trump, right?
You know, Stefan, in all honesty, I have educated myself so much since 2016, and I have a ways to go. My political views have changed immensely, and they're changing at a rapid pace. I will not vote for Joe Biden. I do not support anybody from the squad. I think they're totally full of shit. I think they're dangerous. I think they're race hustlers. I think they're cons. I think inevitably they want to get themselves production deals to produce documentaries. I think they're...
Hey, is he telling any lies thus far? I don't hear any, right? They are most definitely race hustlers, right? Their policies are garbage. This whole way of thinking from Democrats is just absolutely terrible. It's absolutely garbage, you know?
They're three-card Monty playing bullshit artists. I think they totally have an agenda. I have said, not to go down the rabbit hole, that at this point when we're doing this interview, voting for Trump is on the table. People are like, what are you talking about? That's my reality. That is my reality. I will not support anybody who's anti-Israel. I will not support anybody that is anti, making America safe. I'm not supporting anybody that is cool with the fact that it takes me 2.5 hours to get back into America from Toronto at the what is it called? The passport at the
Passport control.
the line to go from Toronto to New York. It takes me 2.5 hours, as it should, but it takes you 2 minutes to cross the border. I'm not.
Listen, I agree with him 100%. If you leave the U.S., it should take you a while to get back in. Absolutely. There should be checks upon more checks. Yeah, sure, it might be a little annoying, right? Especially if you're in a time crunch. But I believe in protecting this country and the citizens of this country, right? The rightful citizens of this country. So, yeah, it should take you quite a while to come back into this country after you leave. Now, I don't think it should take all day, right? But a couple hours, just to make sure everything's on the up and up. I don't think it should take any more than a couple of hours because obviously people got lives and things to do. So, a couple of hours, I don't think is completely unreasonable to make sure that you aren't trying to do anything that could jeopardize any American citizens. I'll take that trade-off, right? I'll take that trade-off 7 days out of the week and twice on Sunday. Absolutely. Absolutely. But like you said, unfortunately, you could just waltz across the border. Well, you could just waltz across the southern border, right? If you want to do that, waltz right on across, including if National Guard is there, right? Because we saw that clip. I showed you guys that clip. National Guard was trying to block the illegals from crossing the barbed wire fence that they had set up, and the illegals just pushed right through them. And some people had said, well, why don't they use their weapons? Well, the optics of that would be really terrible if we just saw National Guard just pine boxing a bunch of illegals because they pushed past them. Democrats would have absolutely used that one. So I'm happy that they did not and refrained from using any type of deadly force, right? Because I saw some folks like, bro, they're carrying guns. Like, why don't they just use them? Like, they're getting pushed over. I think one National Guard troopman actually fell down. Like, that's how hard they were, like, trying to push past them, right? So, hey, kudos to those guys because their hands are really tied. It's more like of a show of force rather than actual force. Because, once again, we don't need to give the Democrats any type of fuel. They are on the ropes. We don't need to give them, a second political life, so to speak, right? And them using lethal force, I think, would have done that. So happy that they didn't. But that's just my personal opinion on it. How do you guys feel? Let me know.
Down with that shit. I'm not down with police officers in the greatest city on earth getting beaten up, and you're a legal immigrant, and then you have no bail. I'm not down with
and flipping off the camera.
Flipping off the fucking camera like Tupac when he got arrested and he was coming out in in the red Detroit Red Wings t-shirt. I'm not down with going into a Costco or a 7-Eleven or a Rite Aid, as I videotaped once and went crazy viral, cleaning out the spot and walking like you're on a like a beautiful spring day walk. I'm not down with any of that shit. So any of these people that support it, I'm not voting for them. So yes, my political views have changed a lot. I'm voting with my money and I'm voting with Israel. I'm not getting caught up or suckered into these race politics or any of that bullshit anymore. Yeah, they have changed and they're going to continue to change and evolve. It's a crazy time, American politics.
Facts. It is a crazy time. It is a crazy time. I've said previously that, I started paying attention to politics at the right time, right? At the right time, I actually started paying attention to it. And obviously we are where we are now, on this journey of figuring out the truth. Well, I think we figured most of it out by now, right? Democrats are liars. Absolutely. And, in actuality, most Republicans are liars too, but I will say, because that's been the thing when I talk to folks is, well, yeah, Democrats are bad, but Republicans are bad too. And I'm like, sure, technically you have a point, but there are good Republicans. There are people that I would consider true Republicans. Byron Donalds, right? Famous example, true Republican, a guy that stands up for what is right, 100%, 1,000 times, 7 days of the week and twice on Sunday. Byron Donalds is someone that I would consider a true Republican, right? There's others, Josh Hawley's, Rand Paul's, Jim Jordan's, right? Matt Gaetz, those type of guys I consider true Republicans. And like I said before, I think that will expand. We're already seeing it. We're seeing the old guard get pushed out, the old establishment Republicans getting pushed out, the Mitch McConnells, right? The Kevin McCarthy's, right? Plus others, getting pushed out of the way, pushed to the side. And I do think we're going to bring in more true Republicans. So we're already starting to see that shift. And I said that like last year, a while back, before any of this even began to happen, people getting pushed out of the way. I was like, I see a shift happening, because there's only so much that they can do with all of us pushing back on them, right? But yeah, hey, listen, I know some people's knee-jerk reaction to Michael Rappaport might be to, push back a little bit against him because of what he said, right, about Republicans and Trump, and I get it. Right? I get it. He said some nasty things. But at the same time, I do think this isn't a time to say anything like that or do anything like that, right? Because, one, this shift is happening with a lot of folks. I may make a whole separate video on this shift happening. People who claim to be Democrats and voted for Biden and Obama and everyone else beforehand and Hillary and everything else and hated Trump are now saying, there's no way I'm voting for Biden. I will vote for Trump. I may make an entire video on that, because that shift is absolutely amazing. And I will say, I extend an olive branch to anyone and everyone that feels that way. Join us. Let's all unite to get out of this nightmare, absolute nightmare of a situation that we are in. Let's unite, including, Michael Rappaport. Welcome, brother. Welcome. The Rock, right? Which, he's gone through his controversy recently too. Okay. But anyone who can admit that they were wrong and now they see the truth, I welcome them. I welcome them with open arms. We welcome everyone. That's the way that I see it. But yeah, as always, y'all let me know your thoughts, your opinions on this in the comment section below. Like, share, comment, and hit that subscribe button before you go. Peace and love. I'm out.